Hey guys, Samantha Chrisley here. I promised you a tutorial on the bow making, so that's what we're gonna do today. Now there's several kinds of bows that you can make. This is one that I made for Hadley's birthday last year. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit more extreme. You can make a little tiny one, or you can make like a medium sized one. All these fabrics I actually got at Walmart for $1. They're seasonal. This was like a fall one. That was Christmas. And they're all $1, so pretty super cheap. So what you're gonna need is, of course, you're gonna need the ribbon. I usually use 3, but you could also use 2 different kinds if you wanted. Usually, like today I'm doing mini, so I have like a mini print, um, polka dot, and then just like a translucent sheer one. You don't want it to be too busy, so usually like one big thing and then kind of just the rest. You'll also need scissors, a glue gun, needle and thread, and then these little, I think they're called alligator clips, little clippy clips, so that it goes in the hair. And then I think that's all you need. So I went ahead and I already made some of my loops just so that to save us times. But I will show you how. And it's kind of like a trial and error. It takes me sometimes to get the loops just right. I leave it attached to the ribbon itself because it makes it a little bit easier. And like I know that I'm gonna want it to be probably about yay-ish long. Sorry, I'm trying to see myself in the camera. But you're just gonna take it and make a loop, a little bow, and then take and make another loop. And sometimes it doesn't work too well, so you have to just kind of keep playing with it, like make a loop, like a little bunny ear. And then another bunny ear like so. So then you kind of have it. It looks kind of weird right now, but if you can see, it looks like a bow. You're gonna just keep it. You can like play with it around, hold up and see the size. It's about the size that I need. So then I'm going to trim this. It doesn't matter if these are even because you're gonna deal with that later. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure you always hold the middle. You're gonna take your needle and thread and this through the center, just make a couple little passes just to kind of keep it together. It doesn't have to be perfect. Usually 3 is enough. And just try to get each side together. I'm not a seamstress. And it doesn't even have to look pretty. You can still see the stitches because you're going to cover that up. So then just tie it off. Okay. So you got your little bow. And it looks like so. You see it? Beautiful. So I already made my other ones just to save some time. So I'm just going to kind of play with it and see how I like it. If I want that in the front. I think I'm going to, let's see. There's really no right or wrong. It's just how you want it to look. Like I'm making it for Hadley's birthday party. It's mini, so I kind of want the mini to be the accent. I might just do it like that. Okay. So I'm going to do it like this. And as you can see, there's 3 different ones. There's a sheer one in the back, then the mini, then the polka dot. So you want to kind of layer them on top of one another like so. And you're going to want to hold that tight because that's very important. You take your needle and thread, and then now you're going to attach all 3 together. And like I said, a couple passes, maybe 2 or 3. Watch your finger on the other end because I've done that before and it hurts. Whoops, I didn't tie my knot. Like I said, I'm not a seamstress, but I make it work, so all that matters. My strings are a little uneven here, so it's giving me a little bit of a problemo. Ah. Okay, got it. So I'm gonna pick my things back up and I'm gonna make sure that they're lined up so I put them down. So you want them to be as lined up as possible. And that's good. And then I said you're gonna attach all three. Sewing it through. Make sure you watch your fingers when you're pushing it through. Okay. Now what you do, it's kind of the fun part for me. What you do is you're going to take your needle and thread and you went through a couple times so they're pretty much attached, so they're not going anywhere. And you're going to take the needle that's still attached to the bows and you're going to wrap it around the bottom and top. So you're going to hold it tight and you're going to wrap through the bottom. You're going to kind of pinch it in the middle and just wrap. You're going to pull it tight. Keep pulling it tight. You can probably do this a couple times. And done. And then now you're just going to tie it off the, whatchamacallit, the thread. Like I said, not a seamstress. Just going to make a knot to hold that, what you just did. Alrighty. And you're going to cut that off. So now you have like a jumbled mess. This is what it looks like. And what you're going to do at this point is you're going to play with it. You're going to pull it through. You're just going to kind of make it look like what you want it to look like. Pull the bottoms down. Where's my mini? There it is. And then at this point, I go ahead and I trim the bottoms. I usually make them about even. There's no science. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's see. And now what you do, so now you have what I like to call like the shell. The bow's there. It's pretty much done. So now what you do is you pick out of your 3 different ribbons the one that you want to wrap around the center. Like if you see, like on this one, I use the brown. And then on the birthday bow from last year, I used that purple ribbon. So it really doesn't matter. I usually don't use the one that I placed in the front, so it's either going to be the sheer or the mini. But since it's a mini themed, I think I'm going to go with the mini. Let me just see how that looks. Well, that looks good too. Maybe I'll make 2. I'll make the mini. So what you're going to take is you're just going to take and cut that straight. I'm a perfectionist. All right, you're going to have just the ribbon, and you're going to wrap it around the center. So basically, you're just covering up all that junk, all where the thread is, and it just doesn't look very pretty. You're just going to take, for me, I'm going to make sure the Minnie Mouse itself is showing. And then it's going to look something like that. So let me just cut it the way I need it to be, and I'll show you. And I get most of my ribbon at either Walmart or Hobby Lobby. Oh, it came undone. Poop on a stick. Well. Alright, we have to do this again. Do trial and error. Sometimes if you don't tie the knot, it's a perfect example. If the knot isn't tight enough, the whole thing will come unraveled. So we have to do that again. But hey, what's a tutorial video without a little bit of error? So just make your needle and thread again. If you're like me, this is the hardest part. So I try to give myself enough for the whole time. Bear with me. Well, cut it. Usually this whole process, if you don't have issues like I'm clearly having, it takes about 10-15 minutes. Oh, my Lanta. Can't see. And this is where I had my needle already ready before I started recording because I know how long it usually takes me to thread it. Yay, success. Okay. So I'm going to put enough on there for like next time. That should be sufficient. Holy moly. Sorry, guys. I'm going to make sure to get the knot good. All right. Wonderful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that step where we kind of make it really taut. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through one more time. The mini fabric or the mini ribbon is very thick. Normally it'll go right through. Okay. Now it's through. So now we're going to do that same step again. I'm just going to make sure I actually tie it off this time. You're going to pinch the middle and then wrap it so that it starts cinching down and looking more like a bow and not just a bunch of ribbon tied together. So I'm going to, again, I might do it 2 times this time, so I don't want that to happen again. So you're going to make sure that that is tied down really good or we'll have an issue. So I'm going to do it like 3 times because it doesn't really matter. All right. Fingers in the way. Okay. I think I got it that time. Or were we? All right, now back to, it looks like a bow. So, at this time, be very careful with this, but you can kind of trim some of that extra thread in the middle. Just don't untie your knot there. Just kind of make it a little bit more pretty. And then what I do with my thing, okay. So you're gonna wrap the mini, for me, around the center, kind of just, it's gonna be about that much. Okay. So I use my glue gun. I just want to make sure the Minnie Mouse, usually doesn't matter, but for me, I want the Minnie Mouse to be perfectly centered. And then make sure, again, that everything looks pretty. And then you're going to glue that center piece on, hiding all the grossness. And then what I also have is like a, I don't even know what it's really called. You can use like clear nail polish, but it's basically just keeps the bow from fraying. They actually sell, I don't know what it's called, but they sell it in the craft department. Okay. Pull that. Ouch. Okay. Well, it wasn't perfect, but what are you going to do? Okay. Okay. So that's what it looks like. Ta-da. You can still kind of play with everything and fluff it out or twist it to make it look just like you want. Like I said, there's no wrong. Sometimes they don't turn out exactly like I would like, and I just make another one. Where's that one's tail? There it is. All right. So, last step is you take your little clippy, and what I do, just so that it doesn't get stuck in her hair, is I take, and this does not matter what color, I just take like a cheap fabric, like our ribbon, like this one, and you just kind of layer it. So you're gonna take, I just shove it in there so I can see how much. This is like the easiest part. And then cut it, and then you're just gonna glue this ribbon to it, and it's just so it doesn't get stuck in their hair. And it also just makes it look a little nicer. I just honestly just do the outside with the glue. Okay. And then you put the little guy on there. Like so, and just shove it inside. And this does not have to be pretty or perfect. Mine, most likely, 9 times out of 10 aren't. Then you trim off the top. And then you pretty much just have a little clip that is kind of buffered so it's not cutting into their hair. And just, you could even just make clips like this if you wanted to. But so then be mindful when you're attaching this of how you want it to set in her hair. There was times whenever I would put them this way, and that's not really right. You want to have it this way so it can just go into their ponytail or into their hair. It doesn't matter left or right. There's no clear-cut answer. So then you just slap it on there. And voila, you have yourself a homemade bow that you designed. Oops. There we go. So there we go. Hadley's mini bow is now complete. I don't think you really can see it, but let's see. There you go. And like I said, you can still play with it and kind of just pull everything through, but you can do anything you want with these, and they're very cheap and easy, and I think they're so pretty. So there you go. Message or comment if you have any questions. All right, thanks.